Okay, here we go. Now we're going to have D&D 5th edition. So here we go. All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Pacific Coast time game of Roll20CON. We're playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I'm James Introcaso, a game designer and podcaster who's part of the Tome Show Network and just launched a new fantasy radio play podcast with Rudy Basso, who is also playing today. It's called Have Spellbook Will Travel. I want to thank everybody at Roll20 for joining us today. Before we get started with the game, why don't we meet the people behind the characters, and we'll have everybody introduce themselves. First up is James D'Amato from the One Shot Podcast.
Hello, heroes. I am going to be playing our human cleric this week, and I believe I went with the ridiculous name of Plomp Oatbright. So we're all going to be enjoying the nerdiest cleric in the universe.
Awesome. James, it's great to have you here. We also have Nadja Otikor from the DM. She's the DM from Miss Click's D&D Prophecy show. Nadja, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I am going to be playing the dwarf fighter Beauregard Underbeard. He's an ex-military man, still has the manners his mama taught him. It's very polite.
Amazing. We got some great names on today's for the PCs. Everything's really popping. And Greg Bilsland's character is no exception. Greg is from the D&D team at Wizards of the Coast, and I believe wins the contest for Had to Wake Up Earliest to Be Here.
My pleasure to be here.
So thanks for coming here, Greg. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing?
Well, you kind of already covered the basics of who I am. Work at Wizards of the Coast. My character is a tiefling bard named Pierre Labouffe, of no relation to Shia. I will be using these to capture my bardic inspiration and see what sort of amazing quotes pop up from these Cards Against Humanity cards.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Interesting.
And Rudy Basso, my good friend, podcaster on the Tome Show Network, creator, writer, editor, producer, and performer on the Have Spellbook Will Travel podcast is here. Rudy, welcome.
Hey, James. Thanks. I'm a professional sidekick, too, I like to say. Thank you, my good man. Thanks for having me. I'm playing Jungood Barleypoof, a halfling rogue with an exceedingly large appetite. Looking forward to eating everything in sight.
Well, if anything, I am the Chewbacca to your Han Solo, sir. And Richard Zayas, co-founder of Roll20 and my pal, is also here. Richard, welcome and thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, thank you for running the game. I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's hard to get this many people excited that early to play a D&D game. So my character is a dragonkin paladin, Draco Lightbringer. So he is a young, naive paladin straight out of the monastery. So we'll see what kind of trouble we can get him into. And just as a reminder, we're doing all this, the 24 hours for Cybersmile. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, you want to do something crazy, please donate to Cybersmile. Thank you.
Yeah, and exactly, like, this is a really, really great cause. Cybersmile, the internet is awesome, but just like everywhere else in the world, there's some jerks. And Cybersmile is a nonprofit that supports victims of cyberbullying and an official charitable partner of Roll20CON. And Cybersmile is rooted in the idea of safe spaces online for everybody. And it's a core value that draws Roll20 to that group. So check them out, roll20.net/con/donation. You can help support this awesome cause. There's a Roll20CON exclusive art pack, and some of the artists who worked on the various pieces of art, the maps, the tokens and stuff, for this adventure also made art for that. So if you like the awesome art here, you're going to love the awesome art there. And there's also a great Roll20CON t-shirt you can buy, or you could just donate because, it's cool and donating is fun. So with that in mind, why don't we go ahead and get started with our game?
Woo woo!
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
On
this
the
takes
train
place. This takes place in a homebrew world created for Roll20. Welcome to Parabor. It's a frontier village of diverse miners and adventurers. The community's economy is fueled by silver in the Karagorn Ranges, mithril in the icebound peaks, and explorers like you who scout the Meriam Vale for treasure. The Karagorn ranges cut Parabor and the Meriam Vale off from the rest of the Kingdom of Skylark, where King Raziel Fortworth II rules a prosperous civilization. The small village falls under his domain, but he largely ignores it. Its operations are in the hands of a governess who keeps a small guard and can raise a large militia if any trouble comes to town. She mostly lets the villagers keep to themselves, coming around with her guards once a year to collect taxes. The dangerous jobs and remote location of Parabor attract more than miners and adventurers. Plenty of people running from something, be it the law, a shady past, or an angry ex-lover, come to Parabor for refuge from their previous life. This is a village where people ask where you're going, not where you come from. 3 days ago, Ilaria Faywing, a renowned mentor to many famous adventurers who lived in the area, died. She was known as the Master. All of you were her final pupils. The ancient elf who taught you secrets of combat, magic, and wilderness survival passed away in her sleep on the same night she told you your training was complete. You have not begun to look for work when the news of her death came. Though the Master was over 800 years old, she was lithe and energetic. It seemed she could have lived another 8 centuries. Per the instructions of her last will and testament, Ilaria was buried quickly in a simple ceremony. Many who came to Parabor to see the Master laid to rest, but you were her final students, and because of that, you were all asked to give a eulogy. So, in the idea of giving a eulogy, I'd like to go around the table and have each of you share a favorite memory of an unexpected lesson the elf taught you. What memory did you share at the funeral? And let's go ahead and start with you, James D'Amato.
So there are a lot of people that take a look at me and say, Plump, you're not cut out for adventuring. And to them, I say no. And the reason I say no is a woman we lost recently who taught me to believe in myself. It was probably our 10th week of training, and I'll admit I'm not as fast as everybody else, and I fell behind quite a bit. He used to chase us with an ox cart, shouting with a bullhorn, "Hurry up! Don't fall behind, Plump!" And, you know, I'll be honest, okay? The oxes poked me a couple of times, and every night I would have trouble sleeping because I would have wounds on my back from the ox horns. And she came to me at night and she said, Plump, you need to believe in yourself because I chose you for this group for a reason. And gosh darn it, if I didn't start believing in myself after that, and sure, I never caught up with anybody else. I was always the slowest, but I felt good about it after that.
Excellent. There is sort of a couple of nods of recognition. Yes, this was how the Master treated her students. Tough love was definitely a big part of it. How about Pierre Leboeuf? What memory did you share as part of the eulogy?
Well, when I first came to this town, it was one of those folks who was fleeing many a scorned lover, and the Master took me in, and she gave me this important bit of advice that I should always use a pseudonym like Samuel L. Jackson when I go about my philandering. And so it is that, having arrived in town, I was under her tutelage, and despite my many attempts to seduce her, she was always just the one that I couldn't get. But she taught me in the ways of adventuring and magic, and so I felt that she sort of always saw a certain spark in me and suppressed her desirous urges well, because one would naturally not normally resist a specimen such as myself. So it's a shame that one so beautiful and talented and mostly beautiful would find herself no longer in life. But we shall all cherish her in our memory as being so very, very beautiful.
There are a few gasps as people realize Samuel L. Jackson is not your real name, and probably some angry-looking ex-lovers out in the audience who are realizing just now that you have tended to many of them. But the performance is very moving, and that is when Beauregard takes the stand to share a memory of Ilaria Faywing, the Master.
So Beauregard looks incredibly nervous to be the center of attention and clears his throat and he says, well, I may not be a very smart man, but the Master took me in nonetheless. I started life as a soldier, and well, I follow orders really well, and I'm not terribly creative, and I've always felt bad about that, but the master taught us a great lesson one day. She summoned this fearsome illusion of dragon breathing fire that really broke the rest of the team. They were terrified, but well, me, I was more confused than anything, but it looked like I was being brave, and that's what mattered. My inability to really latch on to magic brought the team together, and I now I'm grateful for being a bit of a stump when it comes to magic, but we all have our strengths, and I'm going to miss that woman. And I pull out a handkerchief and blow into it noisily.
You can actually see many of the miners and mercenaries sort of relate to this idea of like, yeah, magic is a hard concept to grasp, and I don't understand. It's all weird. It's magic, right? And you move some of them to tears, also honking in their handkerchiefs, though none as noisily as Beauregard Underbeard. And it is at that moment that Junegood Barleypoof takes Junegood has to stand on his tippy toes, obviously, to sort of reach the lectern. But what memory does he share?
Well, first off, I just want to say I wasn't scared of the illusion dragon. I was tactically retreating to get a better vantage point. Strategy is really important. But as a young halfling growing up on the mean streets of Parabor as an orphan, there were many nights where I would not be able to fill my belly. And man, were those nights hard. But I always knew that if I came to the master's door, she'd give me some scraps. And those scraps would keep me going. And keep me going through the next day and so on. And so when the opportunity came to learn with the master and learn how those scraps tasted, so good for scraps, and adventuring stuff, I could not turn away. And so I hope to keep her memory alive and still share scraps with other orphans. Maybe not as much as she did, but, you're hungry too. So I remember you, Master. I remember you well. I will always scraps or something.
And as you sort of go away, you can see people are really starting to think about the reception after. Like, yeah, man, it's getting late. We're getting hungry here. We gotta get there before this guy does. And lucky for them, there's only one person left. Draco Lightbringer, gold dragonborn paladin, stands tall and rises and walks to the lectern. What do you share? What memory, Draco?
Draco is like stone-faced, doesn't look very upset. Walks up to the podium, kind of declares, the master always prepared us for this eventuality. Eventually she would be gone. So it's our duty to carry on her legacy, her memory. She taught us to do good, so let's do good.
Nice.
Brevity is Draco's strong suit.
Nice. And you can see like a lot of people nodding like that was deep. That was really, we should do good. That was very deep. And with that, the ceremony, they're given last rites, and the master is brought around to the graveyard and interred. Draco's words of the master preparing you for this eventuality are indeed true. She did say to you that despite her physical appearance, she was live and could die really at any moment. As you all are walking away from this funeral ceremony, Parabor's solicitor, who is Yelsa Hodwick, a nervous, emotional gnome, who is just tears streaming down her face. She comes up to you. She was, of course, everybody's lawyer, and she says, "Oh, her final pupils. Hello, everyone. Hello, Pierre." And she kind of gives Pierre a longer look, and then says, "Miss Faywing, she spoke so fondly of all of you. In fact, you're mentioned in her last will and testament. If you have time, would you please come with me to my office? I know it's a lot to ask, but." And she sort of keeps bawling as the tears come by, and she grabs, she like collapses into Pierre's arms and just sort of points the way.
I kind of hold up my handkerchief and then put it back.
Plomp, not picking up on any of these social cues, starts bawling openly as well, and also buries himself in Pierre's chest.
That's it. There's room for everyone here. There's room for everyone, and later tonight as well.
Nice. So Plomp, inspiration for you and Pierre as well, as we sort of continue on here. So you eventually make it into her office, and she's kind of collected herself a little bit. She says, "Thank you so much for coming. You must excuse me." And there's sort of papers everywhere, all over the office, all over. She's got a couch set out with a coffee table, and there's a couple of extra chairs around. And she says, "It's time for tea. Would you like some tea and cakes?"
Yes.
Oh.
Cakes.
So she starts. She goes over to a small stove or the fire that's in the corner of her office, and she puts the kettle on, and she takes some cakes out of a cupboard and sets them on the table in front of the couch and motions for all of you to sit down.
Being in the show off, I'm going to summon a mage hand to take one of the cakes and bring it to me.
Awesome. Nice.
I wouldn't trouble myself with getting up.
So as you grab those cakes, you can see it sort of floats right by you, June Good.
Oh man, I'm grabbing that. I am going for it. Food in my face.
By now.
What am I rolling here?
I think you can
Sleight of
probably, make a sleight of hand check to see if
I should have used my illusion first to distract you. Clearly.
Bam, 18. Give me that cake.
So you definitely grab that cake right out of the air. Inspiration
Scoundrel.
With my mouth. Just like,
it was a sleight of mouth check.
there you go.
So I call you a scoundrel and come up with one of my cunning words. You will die alone and in pain.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Look, I know. Emotions are running hot, guys. We got to stick together, okay?
Yes. You speak wisdom.
And Yelsta sort of nods at that, and she unseals this envelope that has Alaria's seal on it. And she pulls out a letter, and she said, "No, as I told you, Ilaria had you in her last will and testament. She has no family, and you're the only people mentioned in the document. She wanted me to read this out loud, but I don't know that I have the emotional strength to do so." So she says, "Oh, please, you have such a way with words, Pierre. Would you read this?" And she gives you this handout, or rather, this will. It's a handout in Roll20.
She hands out flyers.
Yes, yeah. She's like, "Hey, would you come to my show? Would you come to my show?" So there it is. And if you don't mind, Pierre, give us a read.
Of course. Just to be clear, my name is first on the list of people that is listed here, right?
You look and you actually see that Draco and Beauregard.
It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes, the best comes last. My gold has dwindled in 800 years, but there's some left, so be all ears. My mansion, my treasure are all yours, if you can open the last of my doors. The vault in the backyard is my final test. You must work together to complete this quest. The door can be opened with strength of the mind, but before you attempt, find the tiles all 9. 3 are hidden where she creeps and crawls, the one with 8 legs and venomous jaws. 3 are entrusted to one born of dragons who cannot be reached by boats or by wagons. 3 still are buried with a friend long forgotten, who lingers long after her body is rotten. Unlock the vault, do not delay, for others are hunting my treasure this day. Every moment you wait puts people at risk, so take up the task and please do be brisk. All will make sense when you open the vault and realize my death was not nature's fault.
What?
So, and while everybody's gasping, my brow is like furrowed, and I'm like, I lean over, and I'm like, "What? I don't understand."
Guys, I feel terrible. I've been blaming nature this whole time.
I just never knew she was such a poet. I never saw her at any of the beat nights.
Yeah, quite a rhyme scheme. Yeah.
I chopped down a tree for spite this morning.
Beauregard, inspiration for you. And Yelsa kind of looks right at you and she says, "I think Ilaria's trying to say she was murdered."
Murdered. And I stand up on my little dwarven legs. That's not right. Does she say how?
I mean, I would assume she wrote her will before she was... Oh, I don't know. I don't know how she could know she was going to be murdered.
And why she didn't do anything about it.
I know.
Well, I guess I'm going to get murdered. Might as well just let it happen.
So you guys remember the last line of her will, while it's choking up Yelsa, clearly, Ilaria's property clearly now belongs to all of you. You all live together and trained in this big mansion, which I'm just now realizing is kind of like the X-Men. I don't know how I didn't see that before. But anyway, you sort of lived in her house for the year, trained there. And you do remember there was a weird stone trap door that was always locked. Nobody could ever get into. There was no space for a keyhole. It did have 9 red square-shaped sort of divots in it. And perhaps it's the vault that Ilaria's poem refers to. There's not really much else you could think of in the back of her property that might be that. And then you also each remember Ilaria sort of sharing memories often with you. You know, the stories that people repeat over and over again. These 3 stories were the stories that she would repeat to all of you time and time again, to the point that, like, they're sort of burned in your brain. So let's go ahead. Junegood, why don't you read Memory 1 out loud for us?
Sure. Memory 1. If you travel up the Moranthi River, you'll find a waterfall coming down off the icebound peaks. Behind this waterfall is a cozy cave. Oh. But enter with caution. For inside lairs Vixtra. Oh, she is a spider as large as an ogre with an unforgiving appetite. Oh,
a spider. Oh, that makes sense. Makes
That
way
matches
more
to the Will's line about venomous. Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
And on the map here, you guys can see Vixtra's lair, which you remember. Here it is behind the waterfall. You can see the pin sticking out of the map. To it.
marking it.
Yeah.
Boy,
So
that's
there
such a
it is.
cool feature.
Oh man, it's all free. Isn't that crazy?
Amazing.
Which does bring me to another point, that this adventure that we're playing, once it's available, will be totally free.
Whoa!
So people can sort of introduce their friends to D&D and to Roll20 for free.
Also, this map is boss.
Yeah. This is a map made by Russ Hapke. He makes a lot of modular things that you can make old world style maps like this. So it's really, really cool.
Super cool.
Wow, and this all being free frees people up to spend their money on charities.
That's right.
Amazing how that works.
Like Cybersmile. So get out there, buy map packs. Russ Hapke is one of the people, I believe, who helped do the art, right, Richard? So
Yeah.
yeah. So there's our mid-show promo. Draco, why don't you read Memory 2 for us?
Okay, that's me. Sorry. I may be old, but I'm still an adventurer. I even climb the staircase cliffs from time to time. I have to. My dragon-formed friend, Alicus Skilova, right?
Alcaius Skyvola. Sorry, that's coming through.
Won't come down, so I must climb up. Trust me, his company and cooking are worth the effort.
Nice. And Beauregard, why don't you go ahead and read our last memory here?
Of all my old pupils, I remember Helene Ardun the best.
Yep.
She was so passionate about adventuring. When she retired, she came back here to teach with me. So dedicated was she to me that even in her death, her soul could not rest. That's unfortunate. That's probably why I remember her so well. Her ghost still haunts the Delore Forest, where I buried her. My guilt drives me to see her, hoping to convince her to depart this world and be at rest. I fear as long as I'm alive, she'll continue to haunt those woods. It can be impossible to find one's way through the Delore Forest, and that's why I marked the path to get to Helene's grave by carving my initials into the trees.
Awesome. So there you go. There are sort of 3 locations that correspond to Ilaria's will. So as you're checking those out, Yelsa allows you all to stay and chat and share memories and have lots and lots of cakes. I feel like
pounds his fist on the table.
So you're like ready to roll, Draco?
I'm going to Marantha's River.
All right.
Coming with me.
Nice.
I too would like to go to this place. The spider seems like a problem, and we can solve problems, right?
All right, guys, but I mean, one of the stories promised cooking.
Yeah, cooking.
No?
That's my vote as well. Was the cooking.
I mean, giant, scary spiders are great and everything.
I'm not such a fan of them myself, to be honest.
So Draco, inspiration for you for being impatient and leading everybody to action. So it sounds like there's a dispute about whether we should go to Vixra's lair or Alcaius's home on the staircase cliffs. So how do you guys want to resolve this? Do you think you're a party who normally votes on this kind of thing?
I think we
usually argue.
party. I mean, come on, right?
What says Le Beef?
I am good wherever. I will just go along. But I do prefer the one with the lady. Just saying. It's like,
She's a ghost.
The spider lady?
no, not the spider. Well, I mean, if she's sort of a loth sort of spider, then maybe. But no, the former adventuring companion.
Yes, the Dolor Forest with Helene's grave.
But clearly, we must go to all of these. So the order
That's
is
correct.
particularly important.
That is very correct.
Which one's closest?
Yeah.
So the closest is actually the Staircase Cliffs. It's only about 1.9 miles or so away, as you can see from this.
We're gonna go around the map one time, counterclockwise. Which would we hit first?
Counterclockwise, you would go.
Clockwise.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
clockwise, you would hit Alcaius's home first.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Echo changes his mind.
The place I wanted to go anyway.
So the place with the cooking is where everybody is going first.
Yeah.
So you guys can, it's a brisk. We're far in the north here, so it's brisk. It's like getting to be early spring, so there's not snow on the ground, but there's a cool wind coming off Lake Maranthe as you guys make your way to the Staircase Cliffs, which is really like a series of plateaus, one on top of the next. Now, one of the things that we're going to show off here, which is a cool thing you can do with Roll20, is actually a side view style map. A lot of maps, because your tokens would slide off them if you held them vertically, can't be used that way in physical person. So one of the advantages Roll20 gives you is you kind of are able to use a side map like this, which is a thing I like to do quite a bit just because I can. So as you are making your way to the Staircase Cliffs, you can see a series of plateaus. Wind comes hard off the mountains to the north, and it's getting windier the closer you get to the cliffs. You can see up on top of the first cliff is this small yurt that you can make out. And presumably it matches the description of Alcaius's hut that your fearless leader described often. You're the master, Ilaria Failing. So you guys approach. You're here at the cliffs. You can see it's pockmarked with all these small holes. What would you like to do?
I pull out my rope
Okay.
and start tying it around my waist in a very business-like manner.
What are these holes? Do I know what these holes are?
You don't. They're about, maybe like yay big, Rudy. So about the size of, I don't know, maybe 1 inch in diameter or radius, 1 to 2 inches, we'll say, in radius.
How deep are they?
Can I make a nature? I rolled a 4 on nature, so
Yeah.
holes, guys.
So they're deep. They go deep into the mountain. They get dark. Like they get to the point where there isn't light hitting them. Maybe, kind of like when you see an anthill in one space and you see an anthill in another space, you know that they're kind of connected in a series. It could be something like that.
Okay, guys, I just want to make everybody aware, in case you forgot, the 425th commandment of my God is beware of strange holes. There could be snakes.
Advice. I'd like to begin to play an inspirational tune, just not using bardic inspiration yet, but just to inspire my companions and give them confidence. And this is a tune by the name of Letting Everyone Down. And literally making sure that people don't, fall to their deaths. So
nice.
Strumming away at my lute.
Right. All right, that's awesome. Yeah. So your companions are like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. Make a performance check for me.
Sure.
Just so we can see just how great this sounds.
Switch back to that. I've got my panel closed here.
And there should be like instruments you can do or performance checks, whatever you want.
Make sure I do this right.
Hey, guys.
22.
It's LaBouffe at his le best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys you do feel inspired. As people are climbing the wall, thanks to this great tune. If anybody wants to attempt some sort of skill check to climb, you'll have advantage on the check being inspired.
That song was so wonderful. I just leap onto that wall and start climbing.
All right, nice.
Acrobatics?
What
do you got?
I think it would be athletics.
Okay. Oh man. All right. Well, there you go.
Okay. It's
13.
The holes in the wall, kind of reaching the holes in the wall, make it easy. Whoa! All right. Look at that 0. It's good though. You have advantage, and that would be your disadvantage anyway. So yeah. So Rudy, you are able to make it up the cliff face, at least to the first platform. One of those first level. Yeah, that's great. So you're there. You're standing on the platform. Does anybody else want to climb, or are you guys good letting June good sort of see how it goes?
By now I've wrapped the rope around myself. It's kind of a mess. It doesn't seem to serve any purpose, but I was told this rope is for climbing, and I've now equipped it. And
Start the rope. I'll
It
pull
looks
you up.
good. Yes, it looks good on you.
I'm super strong.
Nice. So yeah. So
I'll try and climb.
All right, go ahead. Make me an athletics check. You do feel the inspiration as you are tangled up in your rope climbing. Oh, yeah. Despite being sort of tangled in this rope, you actually climb faster than June Good and are able to make it up to this actually second platform. You see this like middle platform, Naja?
Mm-hmm.
Beauregard is able to make it even one level higher. So at that moment, though, that is when you all learn that unfortunately Plop is sometimes correct about what lies in holes. And you sort of stand there, and you and June Good were using the holes as handholds to climb, and all of a sudden these winged tiny serpents burst out of these holes, like this was their nest that you have disturbed. So we are going to go ahead and roll initiative.
Yes, I remember this tale about flying snakes from holes. Oh, for some reason I didn't recall it a second ago. Probably should have shared that. So James, how do I do the fancy commands here for initiative on the chat?
So when you're in the chat, if you click your just for initiative, you have to click your token, and then if you open your character sheet and just click the word initiative, it'll add you to the
cool.
Let's see. And if you here we go. Yeah. All right. There we go. Cool. And James, I'll change it to 17 since that's what you rolled first. Yeah. Okay. I got to roll for my flying snakes.
Oh, there's 0. That's fine.
Yeah. Just leave them there.
Sure. All right.
Flying snakes, very slow.
That's what I hear, right?
The wings impede them.
Okay. So my flying snakes.
Far less efficient than slithering.
All right. So they're going on 17. So they're going to go after Plump and Pierre. Okay. And I'll get your name changed, Pierre. Don't worry about that. So Plump, here, I don't want them all to be killing Beauregard. So there we go. Okay. So you guys can see here's where some snakes are flying. 3 come out of the bottom. They're sort of just within melee reach. If you were to grab up to them, you could swing over your head and get them. And then there's 2 more flying up at the top level. And Plump, it is your turn.
Okay. So, like, if they're flying out, would it be? Are they basically within range where Plump could like charge up and attack them, or?
Are they
are they still up in the air where we can't really reach them? Would we have to climb the cliff to get at them?
So you would be able to, these three at the bottom, if you are able to move under or sort of diagonally under from them, you're able to reach them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Plump is going to pull out his mace, sort of like grip it a little bit unsteadily, and he grabs the holy symbol that that Illyria made for him and like squeezes it for good luck, and he'll charge up and try and attack this flying snake over here.
Awesome. So so with on your character sheet, you can click the weapon you want to use under attacks, and it should roll everything for you.
Oh, very cool. And mace right here.
All right. Nice. So a 15 is a hit.
Yes.
So you swing your mace around and you connect and just smash this entire snake. Gets like smashed along the side of the mountain. You just burst it right in, and you can see its little wings sort of fluttering as it gasps its last against the rock.
Guys, I got it, but I feel bad.
So that snake is kaput, totally dead. So Pierre LeBouf, it is your turn.
All right. Is each of these squares 5 feet on the side view?
Yes, each of these squares is 5 feet.
Okay. I guess there's one of the snakes that's down by me. So
Yep.
I will take a moment from strumming my lute to draw out a dagger and fling it at the flying snake.
All right, cool. And are you going for the one on the left or the right?
The one, I didn't see the one on the left. I'll go for the one on the left since it's closer.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah.
Dagger to the snake.
Nice.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, okay, a 21 is definitely going to hit. So you hit the sort of slices off a little bit of the tail end of this snake. It is still alive, but it is in bad shape. It's probably not going to make it back home and live if it gets to go back home. So, but it is still flying around, and this one is quite pissed off.
All right. Take that, snake.
Gotcha.
You tell him.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's it.
All right. So flying snake's turn. So the flying snakes, the first thing that's going to happen is this snake is actually going to fly over here and attack Beauregard. Let's see. It is a little bite that this snake does. Beauregard, I assume a 9 misses your armor class.
Yeah, I've got an 18.
Yeah, so this snake actually bites into the rope that's around you, and it sort of flails around, and you can see the rope whip around a little bit. And the snake has an ability called flyby, which means it's going to keep flying because it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. So it's going to make its way sort of halfway down here the mountain. And this snake, the snakes have a fly speed of 60, also flies over here and tries to give a nice gnaw onto Beauregard. Let's see. Does a 24 hit your armor class?
It does.
Jeez.
It sure does.
There's a very that was a big 18 that I rolled for the snake.
Careful, these snakes are lucky.
1 piercing damage and does 9 poison.
Whoa.
You're a dwarf.
I'm a dwarf. I'm resistant.
Yeah, exactly. So you can feel the poison burn within you, but it's nothing more than a tankard of ale. You know, this really isn't affecting you as much. So you only take half damage from that poison.
Okay.
And it continues to fly, but flies right there. What's up?
Rounded down or up?
Round down.
Got it.
That's pretty much always the rule, right? Until it's not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Greg, that's the rule, right?
Yeah, great.
Works for D&D, that's right. He knows.
All right, and then June Good, this snake flies up here
Oh, no.
and makes a quick snap at you.
Yep,
for 22.
that hits.
Oh man! For 8 damage, 1 piercing and 7 poison, you course through your veins, and then flies back down here to intimidate Draco Lightbringer. And then this snake is going to fly at Pierre. Let's see. That snake misses you, Pierre, and sort of keeps flying around this way.
That's right. You can't fly well without your tail, snake.
Yeah, it sort of it's just off kilter, and so it snaps at you, but it snaps like way to the side of your body as it keeps flying. It looks like it's having trouble balancing, and it's Draco Lightbringer's turn.
Okay. So I have this flying snake on top of me, right?
Yep.
Okay. A longsword. I'm not going to breath weapon it because I want to multiple things with that. I guess use my inspiration. That still wouldn't give me anything, right? 12.
Well, you can if you use your inspiration after you roll. The way I like to play it is roll again because you've seen, you know what I mean. So you've seen what you've got. So go ahead.
Okay.
And we'll take the first number. Okay.
Okay. Well, I missed anyway.
All right. Yeah. So a wide swing. This snake is sort of deftly dodging your long sword. It's quite annoying.
Fantastic. Well, I yell some harsh words at it to make sure that it continues to attack me.
Awesome.
Language.
It does look pissed. It does look super, super pissed at you. Beauregard, it is your turn.
So this whole time I've been struggling to draw my battle axe, not realizing I tied it to myself. But I finally yank it free and take a swing at the snake in front of me.
Nice. Give it a chop. Yes. So as you sort of like yank it free, and it's one of those like, did that happen by accident? Did it happen on purpose? You never can really tell with Beauregard, right? There is a just straight cut in half of this snake, and June Good, in his weakened state, sees 2 pieces of snake tumble down him, near him on the mountain.
Snake is delicious.
So
We're gonna have a snake bake after this, guys.
Yeah.
So those snakes are gone. June Good, it is your turn.
June Good is not looking so good. But I am going to fire my bow.
Wait, which one of us is the cleric?
Plump, I believe.
That would be Plump over here.
Oh, Plump, yeah.
I'm going to fire my bow at the snake engaged with Draco, my
Nice.
dragonborn friend.
All right.
Ow. Crit!
Oh, it's
Nice.
a critical hit.
Nice.
And because he's engaged, you get your sneak attack. So that's all actually calculated right there.
Oh!
Which is more than enough to Draco. The snake gets pinned to your sword, or it's pinned to your shield with an arrow from June Good, and it's sort of writhing around, and it slows down, and it dies. And you can see he got him like right through his little beady snake eyes. It's an excellent shot.
I go, that one's mine for later.
I like throw barley poof
pretty
like
sure
a dragon wink. I'm a dragon, so it doesn't look very good. It looks like I'm snarling at him.
Sure that you can have all of them if you wish.
Plump, it is your turn again. There's a snake sort of just flew right between you and Pierre.
Well, as the cleric, I definitely need to attend to the June Good situation if I can. So I probably need to make some sort of athletics check to climb up to June Good, right? If I'm to get to him on my turn.
Yeah, that's correct. And it would be you'd be able to get to him because you climb at half speed. So you might be able to get to him, but you would have to use your action to dash. So you wouldn't be able to cast a spell unless the spell was a bonus action spell that you could cast.
Yeah.
Like Healing Word. Well, actually, you could cast Healing Word from where you are. It's a bonus action. It doesn't. It uses a D4 instead of a D8. But it also adds your Wisdom modifier to it.
You know what? I feel like that might be worth it because one more bite and that could be it.
Yeah.
So I'm going
like to cast Healing Word.
Woo!
I just need to roll.
So if you go spells on your character sheet.
Oh yeah, just click on
the
Healing
name
Word.
of the spell. And
It's that easy?
it's that easy.
Wow, what a wonderful system! There we go.
Whoa!
So so that heals for 10. We should mention your domain, the pre-gen cleric's domain, is the life domain. So you actually are better at healing than the average cleric. Is kind of what that means. And you're into preserving life. So June Good like that brings you right back up to full. You can see he was sort of. It was close. So they weren't sure if old June Good was going to make it, and then all of a sudden he's like bounces right back up, and you can tell he's thinking about eating the snakes around him. And Pierre, it is your turn.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm sorry to do that to you, Greg. Plump. That was just a bonus action. If you'd like to take a normal action, you can. You can't cast another spell unless it's a cantrip, but you could attack or move or that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got this snake right here. I guess I'll attack the snake.
Sure.
Okay, and go back to core here, and I'm gonna hit him again with my mace.
Yes, and this one you pin between your mace and the ground. Snake guts go flying. And
Gross.
He was, of course, already weakened, or rather cut in half, we should say, missing his bottom piece. So he is gone. It is one flying snake left, and it is Pierre's turn.
All right, I eye that flying snake, and I will move over a little closer to it and say, I will compose this ballad, or a great ballad of this battle, Snakes on a Plateau.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, and draw out another dagger and fling it at this snake here.
Gotcha.
Make sure I've got enough daggers. I don't see my number of daggers. I'm going to assume I have a couple extras.
Yeah, you have some extra. Maybe you have like a belt or bandolier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see there it says 2. So
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, a 15 hits and a 5 definitely kills this guy. How would you like to kill this guy, Pierre?
I think I'd just like to have the dagger like stick into it against the cliff and say, handhold for later.
Nice. So that's the end of the snakes who seem to be coming out. You guys can hear maybe some rustling within the cliff, but no more snakes pop up for the duration. Let's see. Does anybody have anything they need to do immediately after the battle?
Recover my dagger.
Gotcha.
Both
All right.
daggers, actually.
Pose.
Yeah, and I think
Apologize to the group of how worthless I was in that time.
I'm super confused because when I drew my axe, I inadvertently killed the snake. So I've been looking around.
Where'd it go?
And Beauregard, you're probably so tangled you might be having a hard time trying to put your axe away.
Yes. Having a rough time.
Yeah, questioning if you still even need it. And you guys are able to, now that the snakes have been dealt with, you're able to climb at a more careful, kind of casual pace up the mountain. And you make it to this little yurt. And on top of the yurt, you can see...
Can you shift ping us, James?
Oh, totally, yes. So, yeah. There. Did that take you there?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, this yurt. So as you guys approach, you know the wind is howling up here. It's even worse than it was down at the bottom of the cliff. But those of you standing downwind, you smell something delightful. Somebody is cooking an amazing meal. And we're not talking like it's not just grilling meat. Like we got meat grilling, and there's vegetables are being roasted, and spices are being used. It smells like Thanksgiving as you get closer. And you also hear a deep baritone voice, half singing, sort of half shouting the words to a forgotten drinking song. It's like when your dad tries to remember the words of a song from his youth. It's part la-di-da, part spoken, part sang. Some of the lyrics are remembered. And as you guys sort of get closer to the door, the furs that create the door fly open, and a huge blue-scaled dragonborn who's almost 7 feet tall and has a great axe strapped across his back, super muscular, ear-to-ear smile, wearing an eye patch. He says, "Oh, come in then, come in! That climb was draining and the wind is cold. I've got plenty of rabbit stew to share if you've got good stories."
That sounds delicious. Do you keep the snakes as more of a defense mechanism, like a dog? Shouldn't you have like a sign up that's like, beware of flying snakes?
Oh,
Hey, you could get sued.
yeah, it's why I never come down off the cliffs. Those snakes are dangerous. You can keep going up the cliffs from here. There's no snake nests if you go up. But if you go down,
It's an elevation thing. They cut off after like 200 feet or 100 feet.
Yeah, they're so small. The oxygen, they need a more oxygen-rich air. So the higher you get, the harder it is for them. And June Good, he sees you like pushing past him to get to the stew. And when you get in, it is a cozy little hut. There is a fire in the middle. Smoke is able to get out of the ceiling through sort of a little chimney. And you can see there's a big pot of rabbit stew on there with a big wooden spoon sticking out of it.
I'm diving right into that.
Like literally, or
No. But
It's inspiration right there.
I
For sure.
set up camp. Did you guys want some of this? There's not that much.
He says, I have bowls if you and he grabs some bowls and he starts spooning it out, and he seems amused by you, June Good, as he spoons out everybody some stuff, and he says, so I assume you're here because you're friends of Alaria Faywing, or you're here to kill me and take my stuff. Ha! You're not here to do that, are you? It's not a thing you're here to do.
I mean, I don't think so. The letter wasn't super clear.
You guys, he may not know about the whole.
That is a crass way to put it.
And he says, "Oh no! What happened? What is the?"
I look up from where I'm trying to disentangle the rope, and I say, "She's dead."
We suspect murder.
He kind of sits down, like, "Whoa, that hit him real heavy." And he said, "I hate to say it, but when I saw that it was a bunch of adventurers climbing up who matched the description of her latest batch of pupils, I figured that something terrible had gone on. She always told me you would come if the worst happened." And he says, "I'm supposed to give you something if you were able to make it all the way up here." As she said, adventurers would be able to make it by the snakes, even if they were a surprise, and be able to climb the cliffs. But I know there are others looking for what I have to give. And so I must see how well you actually know Alaria." And he sort of, he says, "I know a lot about you. So why don't you tell me?" He wants to hear, and just so you know, we're sort of taking a short rest. So if anybody needs to spend hit dice or has resources that recharge, that can happen right now. He asks you, I want to hear a story about who Alaria truly was inside. she only really opened herself up to her close friends and her trainees. So I want to know about a deep personal interaction you've had with her. And he turns to Beauregard and he says, Beauregard, oh, by the way, I'm Alcaius Skyvola. How rude of me to not introduce myself before launching into this personal exploration. And he says, Beauregard, why don't you tell me about a deep personal interaction you had with Ilaria?
So I kind of shift a bit in my seat and I turn like brick red. And I say, well, I sought her advice once on the courtship of a lady in the village by the name of Istrid. I thought maybe that she's a lovely dwarven lady. I'm a very awkward man.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, is this the first time the rest of your compatriots are hearing this, that you sought the love of this woman?
Probably Pierre would know.
Uh-oh.
I probably came to him first, and his advice was less than...
My advice was spending lots of money. Which, actually...
Yes, so she suggested flowers, perhaps. It unfortunately, Istrid was well, not terribly interested in flowers, and perhaps maybe I should have spent some money, but I'm a poor man. I kind of look down at the table.
And Alcaius sort of puts his hand over your hand and like gives you like a one-eyed smile to let you know it's okay. And he says, she told me as much, your story, I may not look it, but I've had some experience with the ladies as well. And she wondered if I might have any advice to give. Flowers came from me, and I apologize that advice did not pan out. I will say, don't live on top of a cliff and refuse to come down from it. Never works. Never works. And then and he says, Plump, what about you? Do you have a personal interaction with the master that you could tell us about?
I guess it's okay to tell you guys, since we're all friends here, but I know a secret that she kept. Possibly, and until the day she died. I don't know how many other people know this, but late one night, I went out to the outhouse, behind her mansion, and there was an enormous spider in there. And, I went to, I guys I've got a thing about spiders, okay? And it's a normal thing. A lot of people have it.
Uh-oh.
And so, I went to her and I was like, hey, the outhouse has got a spider in it. And she dropped what she was doing. And she turned to me white in the face. Because she is also terrified of spiders. And we burned down that outhouse together.
And you guys know that one day you did wake up and the outhouse was burned down, and Ilaria had nothing to say about it. And Alcaius looks at you and he's like, "Oh, she wasn't always scared of spiders, but she had a run-in with a rather big one in the Icebound Peaks many years ago, and that really changed her opinion of all arachnids." And he sort of gives like a knowing smile, and then he turns over to Junegood and he's like, "Oh, I see you're in need of thirds," and he starts pouring some more stew into your bowl, and he's like, "What about you, Mr. Barley Poof?
Yes.
Have you had any interactions?"
I'm sure we're all familiar with the elven bread Lombus, not to be confused with another bread, possibly similar names.
Yeah, how did that lawsuit shake out?
Lombus. Clearly a different Val. One night, she taught me her Lombus recipe, something that no one else knows. And now I, too, have the power of Lombus.
Excellent. Excellent. So you two have the power of Lombus and the recipe to make Lombus. And he says, "Oh, I've been trying to get that recipe for years. She would never give it to me." And he says, "Perhaps after this we should exchange. I could give you the rabbit stew. You could give me the Lombus.
No
We got a
deal.
little deal." And then he turns to Draco and he's like, "Draco, what about you?" And then he pointedly looks at Pierre and says, "You were always her favorite, Draco."
Whoa.
So surely you must have had a good interaction with the master.
Yeah, she always she spoke fondly of you and always told me how much I reminded her of you.
Oh, it's true. That does seem. We're both Dragonborn, but I think beyond that we have a kinship, right?
Well, when I first came to her, I was very unschooled in the ways of being. I guess I didn't know what I was or who I was, and she taught me how to use my dragon's breath. She really, made me feel at peace with who I was and what I was, and accept myself. And where I fit in the larger world. So
that's good. That's good. You really can't beat that kind of love and tutelage.
So I'm a dragon. I can breathe fire. You don't like it? Do it.
She often told me of how you were lost before you came to her. And then he says, "And Pierre, what personal memory do you have of the master?"
Well, you see that Ilaria, she had another fear besides spiders. She also was afraid to share her love of singing in front of everybody. She often wanted to go to karaoke nights in the town, but she was too afraid. And so, being a naturally talented tiefling in the way of music, I felt obliged to try to help her overcome this fear. And it's a little-known fact that after now everybody knows that she loves singing, but before then, no. And her favorite song, she still doesn't share with anybody, is a spontaneous conga line. She actually likes to get the conga music going and really, do some of this, And he starts to get into it, but anyway, never mind. That's.
And Alcaius is like, "No, I think that's the perfect way to honor Ilaria," and he sort of starts pulling you off you, and a spontaneous conga line begins.
Around the soup.
I'm like eye level with the other person's butt, and I'm really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's you, and then Junegood is right behind you.
Yeah. Just a procession
the only
of butt.
person who would be at your butt level. So everybody should have inspiration after that, if you don't already. And Alcaius, after the conga line and the meal is done, sits down and he pulls out of his skins that he's wearing a small sort of cloth-wrapped parcel, and he unwraps it, and inside are these blue glowing tiles, and the tiles look like they are the same size as the 9 divots that are within Ilaria's backyard trapdoor. And there are 3. He has 3 of what supposedly could be a set of 9 tiles, and they glow blue. And he says, "She said that her will would give you a hint about what to do with these." And he slides them your way. So you guys have those 3 blue tiles now. And he says, so where are you off to next? I know I'm not the only tile guardian.
I believe we have to take down that spider, if I recall correctly.
Oh, I mean, do we?
Yes, Vixthra's lair, and nice plump. and he gives a little chuckle and he says, "If you're scared of spiders now, oh man."
Not helpful. Not helpful.
And he says, "Oh, it's not. I'll be honest. It's not the biggest spider I've ever seen."
Okay, good.
He was like, "Picture a warhorse. Now pretend it's a spider.
Oh.
It's like that big." And he's like, "Well, anyway, have a good time." And he sort of leaves you on your way. You guys climb down the side of the cliff. And you begin to make your way towards the icebound peaks. And as you make your way there, you can feel it's getting colder. You start following the river up, and you do eventually make it to the mouth of a waterfall. So you guys can see, here you are,
Okay.
waterfall.
Right.
Ooh, dynamic
Ooh, the
lighting.
dynamic lighting.
Yeah.
The
So-
lighting is dynamic.
It is. It's super dynamic. So yeah, so you can you see this this waterfall coming out from here. So
Okay.
there's also a little fog of war action going on. So
Uh-huh.
I entertain everybody with the tune that is the unstoppable wave of fire ants. Marching sound.
nice. I like that a lot. The unstoppable wave of fire ants begins. Let me get a perception check from everybody.
Can do.
Bam.
Oh, June. Oh, nice. All right. So, Plump and Pierre, you notice, you can kind of, as you're approaching the waterfall, you can see through the falls that there are probably about 5 different humanoid forms, roughly the size of June Good. You just sort of make out their silhouettes, but they're moving around in there. And you can smell. It smells like they have like cook fires. They're cooking something over, but it smells pretty awful. Whatever it is that they're cooking.
Well, this is the
I would
opposite of
like-
the last adventure, guys.
What's up?
I think I'd like to use prestidigitation to make it smell good.
Okay.
Oh,
And see how they react to that. Oh wait, no, not prestidigitation. Is it minor? Thaumaturgy, I think.
Oh, thaumaturgy. Yes.
It does that, right? Smell. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Does sound, tremors, light.
Yeah, it can do. Right. It's basically divine prestidigitation.
I think I'm confusing it with prestidigitation, though. It doesn't look like it actually.
Oh, it doesn't do
does
smell.
that.
Oh wow.
Okay.
We're all learning stuff today.
Yeah.
You change your eye color.
Yeah. I changed my eye color instead.
Do you not? Okay. Man, I can't believe I didn't give the bard prestidigitation. It's a designer fail right there.
I make do with what I've got.
But yeah, let's say for the sake of this that you can change smells because I like it. It's a fun idea. You start to hear within there some sort of high pitched yapping, like. Does anyone speak Draconic?
I do.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. So Draco, you can hear they're speaking Draconic and they're saying like, "Whoa, what spices did you use over there? Hold on, let me check it out." And it's like, I didn't do anything different. I thought that smell was you guys. And it's sort of some very excited, thrilled yapping that's going on.
We
Those guys sound nice.
Yeah, and they're like, "What's up?"
roll stealth
Okay, go ahead, roll stealth.
with my -1 dex.
ahem.
Ooh.
If we're stealthing,
Interesting.
Yeah, so you start to go, and June Good is kind of like, he stands in front of you and puts a hand on your thigh.
You just like fall into the water.
Yeah, I just basically fell and down the waterfall.
Guys, I have an idea. Wait, did you let us know what the draconic voices were saying about the
Yeah.
smell?
Yeah.
I have an idea. If you'll indulge me for a second.
Go for it.
So I actually want to go through the waterfall and use some of the thaumaturgy, like thundering, making a loud sound, and proclaim that I am the god of spice.
Oh, God of Spice. Yeah.
Spice must flow.
Nice.
And I'm like, wait, really? I'm
For the
like,
record, religiously, this is not okay.
I'm just like, this explains so much.
No, I pray to the God of Spice every day.
Oh, this is amazing.
As far as
So
commandments go, this is a big one.
you can hear.
I'm
sort
like
of-
waving Plump off. It's just doesn't understand what a lie is.
Yeah, Pierre, you get the idea. As you're talking, Draco sort of plows into Junegood, and they both fall and make a loud crashing noise. And the kobolds, you can hear them stop. So you get the idea, like, it's now or never if you want to be pretend to be the god of spice, because they're going to come check this out soon.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to try to create the thunderous sound to dissuade, to cover their stumbling, and then stride boldly forward.
All right, go ahead, stride boldly forward.
How do you want an intimidate or a performance or a persuasion or a deception?
Let's see. So you're going to be bolstered by thaumaturgy. Let's make it. Is your end goal to sort of get them to bow to you?
Yeah. I'm trying to deceive them into thinking that I am the source of the flavor, which is kind of true.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would say it's either a deception or performance check, whichever you'd like to make.
They're all the same, so
Yep.
I'll just do performance.
Okay.
And did that go through?
And you have advantage thanks to thaumaturgy.
Okay, so I need to hit it one. Oh, is
It comes up, yeah. So
wrong
if you
way.
know you have advantage, it comes up. So 17 is great. So yeah, so go ahead if you want to move yourself into the cave area. You can.
Whoa. Can't see me no more.
Well,
Oh yeah, I'm totally taken in by this.
So what do? You come in there and you say,
Behold your god of spice, thou who brings you flavor and smell.
Gotta have smell, yeah.
so they all look up and they sort of in broken common, they're like, God. And then Richard, you can hear one says to the other, we already have a god, she's in the back.
you're not buying it, Pierre.
And they're like, are you here to spice the food of the many-legged?
I'll say, we are here to bring you spice. We will throw down your false god, and you shall eat better for it.
And so the kobolds kind of look at each other. You can tell, like, some of them are into this deal. And one of them sort of holds up his hand. This kobold in the middle, kind of clearly.
Can you keep shifting that, Kobold?
Oh yeah, sure. So this kobold in the middle is kind of clearly this group's sort of de facto leader. And he says, if God of Spice promises us we'll eat better, God of Spice will stay after the many-legged is killed? And friends? God of Spice and friends?
They could move
Yes,
in with
we will
us. They could
stay
move in with
for
us.
a time.
And they're like, so go ahead, make a deception check.
Did that go through?
It did not. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Whoa!
There we go.
So they kind of look at each other, and they're they're talking in Draconic, and you hear them, Richard. They kind of come to the conclusion of like, let's just let the best god win. It's clear like this is a good thing for us if this person stays. And they point to the curtain and they say, "She is through there. We're gonna go hunting." And they kind of begin to walk past you guys. Does anybody want to try to stop them?
I tell everyone they're letting us pass.
I'm dumbfounded by Pierre right now.
I nod politely as they walk past.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so they walk off camera. So yeah, go ahead. Now that we're in this room, everybody go ahead and make a quick perception check for me. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. So Draco and Plump, and actually Pierre, you are all able to see that there are some covered with canvas and like some dirt and stuff. There are actually a handful of pit traps in this room. So I'm just going to reveal them. There they are. So yeah, so there's 2 pit traps, and then there's this curtain at the back of the room.
Well, apparently their god is through this curtain. So yeah, go that way.
All right. So who's going through the curtain first?
I will.
Okay.
I leap to it. I say, I will cast down this false god for you.
You're not talking about me, right?
Oh, she totally buys that you are the goddess. More so than the kobolds, actually.
I'm in it, fully in.
So, cool. So that should reveal that, right? Okay, so as you come in through the curtain here, you guys can see there is a kobold who is wearing a skull on his head, and the entire room here. So the last room was lit by the cook fires that they were cooking rats over. This room is bathed in a blue light, similar to the blue light the tiles shed when you saw them in Alcaius's. Strands of sticky rope sort of hang from the ceiling and lead up to it, and a kobold wearing a skull as a hat, and he's wielding a human femur bone kind of as a staff. He stands at the end of the chamber, and there is a huge lever next to him that he's got his hand on, and he is laughing maniacally, sort of in the throes of evilness, and he yells, "More sacrifices for the 8-legged one" in Draconic. And let's all roll initiative.
Well, will you shift that kobold?
Oh, totally.
Or like somewhere near it.
Yeah. Bam. And everybody, one more perception check, if you please, after you roll initiative.
Oh my god, I am not rolling well.
I see much.
Okay. Oh yeah, Beauregard, you do see much. In fact, you see currently up in the ceiling, you see a giant spider that looks exactly like this token. And she is sort of crawling, and you can see as she crawls, stuck in the ceiling beneath her were these 3 blue tiles that are kind of wedged in the ceiling. And she's crawling over them, crawling towards you. You can also see in the ceiling, there is a big cage made of bones that looks like it's sort of connected to this lever that the kobold shaman is hanging on to, and it's right in front of the the curtain here.
So I hold up my battle axe at the spider and I say, "False god, I believe it is. I was told you have to come down from there."
Question mark?
Very, really intimidating.
All right.
I look over my shoulder. Cast her down means make her come.
I just
I'm confused. Yes,
and
you must come down.
yeah, so her on her turn, she drops down and strides right to here and sort of waits. So that is the spider's turn. Almost like, and you can tell she's not like an abnormally super intelligent spider, but she does look like she's been almost trained. She's been through this kind of so many times. The kobold shaman is also going to ready in action, and Beauregard, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm like, she just came down from the ceiling, so I'm like, kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, that was easy. I guess we'll fight. So I'll charge up to her,
Okay.
and I'm shouting, just no words, just yelling and swinging my battle axe.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead, make your attack.
And I'd like to use my inspiration.
Oh, absolutely. All right, great use of inspiration. That changes that miss into a hit. You come down like cleaving hard into spiders. They have like those weird mouth pieces. They got their mandibles. And they got these. You cleave off actually one of her mandibles. And she lets loose a screech of horror. Her ready to action is met, so she is going to attack you with a bite. Okay. Let's see. So she misses. She, in fact, critically misses. Automatic miss on a 1. But then the kobold shaman goes and he tries to lower the bone cage. Make me a dexterity saving throw, Beauregard.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. So the cage comes down, boom, and it lands over you, and you are now trapped in this cage made of bones. Yeah.
No.
See, right there. Sort of. You are now within the cage, and it is Plump's turn.
All right. Plump is going to put up his holy symbol. Like he can't even bring himself to look into the room. He's sort of like looking back, and his eyes are completely shut.
Nice.
And he's like, "May the power of my God propel my allies to victory!" And he casts Bless
Nice.
on Beauregard, Draco, and June Good.
Nice. All right. So you guys, you feel the power of the gods coming through you as you are all blessed.
clearly I've been spurned because of my proclamation about being a god.
I like to think that that
Again, that's
that
one of
the
the
girl.
big ones. There are a lot of things I'm not allowed to do for you anymore.
Meanwhile, I'm in the cage like the god of spice looks favorably on me.
Right, yeah, that's
Yes,
usually the blessing is coming from there. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and we'll say it is Pierre's turn.
All right. Well, I clearly have to support my devotee who's caged. So I'll start by beginning to play a tune on my pan flute.
Nice.
This tune is known as "The Day the Birds Attacked." So it's kind of a frenetic tune, and I will be providing bardic inspiration to you, Nadia. So that'll be plus 1d6 on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Gotcha. So Najda, Beauregard. Beauregard's got that.
Beauregard, yeah. Sorry, I've got. And then I guess I will. Let me switch over to the Roll20 app. Can I get around to the spider?
Yeah, so you can
Might be
sort
too
of
far.
squeeze by the cage, by going through this way.
Yeah, it looks like it might be kind of far for me though. So I will make it as that's about.
Yeah, you can
30
make it
feet.
about there. Yeah.
And
And you can see Beauregard sort of trapped in this cage, but also feeling the gods as he is blessed.
yeah.
Paprika.
And then I will cast Sleep over in the vicinity of the kobold.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Cast that up.
All right, so if I click on that, that's going to...
It should cast the spell if you click on sleep. All right. That is definitely enough to make my man over here fall asleep. So yeah, you see he sort of he pulls the lever and then just sort of he's laughing and then he just kind of falls. Like Vizzini when he gets poisoned in the end of The Princess Bride. Kind of like that. Like he's like ha ha ha! Boom, falls.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, inconceivable. All right. So that means it is June Good's turn. Draco, did I skip you?
No, I think my turn order. Something
Gotcha.
out of whack. It's fine.
I'm just gonna move you up there.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, cool.
Can I fire through the cage with my bow?
You
No
can.
penalties?
Not without penalties. It's definitely the spider would definitely have 3/4 cover.
Okay,
Which means
and
it would
I
have
will
5 to its AC.
here,
Okay.
and I will fire my bow.
All right, cool. And technically still engaged in melee. It's just through the bars. So 20 hits.
Great.
So you do get to do that 1 sneak attack damage as well.
Once. Okay.
Hey, nothing to sneeze at, especially at first level. So,
Yeah.
Draco, it is your turn.
Okay. Is there a way to get Regard out of the bone prison?
Yeah, so there's you have a couple options. It does look like you could maybe try to lift up one end of it and then Beauregard could climb out. You could try to hack it to pieces. Like it looks like it's basically a lot of bones that have been sort of lashed together.
Okay.
So you could try to cut the ropes or...
that seems a little... I feel like I would try to rip it apart with like my bare hands.
All right, yeah. So make me a strength check then if you're going to try to like...
Whoa, awesome.
Okay.
Plus 1d4 for the bless, right?
Ooh, I'm going to use my 3D die.
Oh yeah, plus 1d4 for the bless. All right. Oh, there it is.
Not that I'm blessed, but I'm keeping track of it.
Plus 1d4.
So you're straining and you're trying to pull the cage free. You can feel it sort of loosen, and you're definitely getting towards ripping it apart, but it's not quite ripped apart yet.
Okay.
All right. So
Wait, I have inspiration.
Oh yeah, you have inspiration. You can make another
I'll
roll.
rip it again. I'm going to rip it again for sure.
Do it.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
no. You feel yourself and you're like, no. And then the power of the gods aiding you, plus, your inspiration from earlier, sort of let you make an enormous, your chest looks amazing as you pull this cage apart and sort of bones go flying everywhere. And Beauregard, as you feel the light of the spice hit you, you also see the cage suddenly fly apart. And you also see a spider standing in front of you, whose turn it happens to be.
Oh boy.
So the spider is actually going to... the spider is going to try to web you up, Beauregard.
Okay.
All right. So this is a ranged attack, so it's actually made at disadvantage. A 13 would miss your AC.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sort of like gets up and points its abdomen at you, and you know what that means, and it just shoots right over your head because you're so short. And Plump, you see Webb shooting by you, Plump and Draco. The Kobold Shaman's turn. He's asleep. So it is Beauregard's turn once again.
I attack.
Nice.
So you have plus 1d4 and plus 1d6, I think, if you use your bardic inspiration.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And that's on the to hit, both of those?
Yes.
Okay.
The bardic inspiration you don't necessarily have to use, but
That's right.
in fact, you don't need to use any of them.
Cinnamon!
So how, Beauregard, how would you like to, as you scream cinnamon, and this giant spider?
So she's on her back leg spitting web, and I just take my axe and hit where the like segmentation is and cleave off the thorax there, shouting about cinnamon the entire time.
Nice. So you cleave off the thorax and like 6 of the legs go with it. And there's like a quick moment where the head is still alive and those 2 legs are trying to scramble in it, and then it just falls. And that is the end of the spider. So Plump, it is your turn. Currently, there are no active combatants. The Kobold Shaman, the sort of yin to your yang as far as religion goes, is there snoozing away.
All right, guys. I have specific things in my religion that forbid me from murdering a sleeping opponent.
I'll do it.
But technically, we're supposed to give him a chance to repent first.
We're here for the tiles, right?
Yeah, we just got to grab the tiles.
But Plump, what if he goes and creates another false religion?
Okay, this is one of those ethical quandaries.
Told you it was coming. Ethics and dragons.
Isn't there a way that like we could give him a sentence of community service? You know, maybe if he works with the elderly or children, he'll realize, you know, how nice the world can be, and he'll stop corralling people into spiders' nests and having them have their flesh devoured by horrible beasts.
I have an idea.
I have my dagger out.
I want to. I mean, unless somebody was going to go up and gank him, I want to approach him.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So June Good sort of has his dagger out, and he looks at you, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, you want to talk to him?
Sort of. Unless you killed him ahead of
No.
time.
I'm waiting for the decision.
Okay. So I am going to go up and feign whispering into his ear, but I'm actually going to cast Charm Person.
Nice. Okay. So Charm Person. That means he's going to have to make a
You want me to?
Wisdom save, right?
Yeah, I can post the spell here.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to give him disadvantage because he's asleep. So he fails.
All right. So then I'm going to proceed to wake him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you shake him awake, and he's sort of looks at you, and he wakes up and he smiles. He gives you a smile.
I am your god of spice.
And he says, "Of course you are the god of spice. I have waited your arrival here in this cave.
We have slain your false god, and now you are to come with us."
And he nods, and he's like, "Yes, of course. I follow you, the god of spice. You are a trusted, great deity." And he's sort of trying to come up with words. He's like, "What is that famous prayer again to the god of spice?"
Oh, the famous prayer is called a pile of squirming bodies.
Yes, yes. It makes sense why we kobolds worship the god of spice. And he starts to mutter a pile of squirming body. It's clearly made up, but he clearly is trying to impress you.
We seek these tiles. Can you direct us to them, or are they obvious in the room?
So they are, you can see now that the spiders come down, they are lodged in the ceiling of the cavern that you're currently. There's lots of spider strands sort of around there that lead straight up.
Okay. Well, then I guess I don't have to ask that. Well, we should get our tiles and move along.
Shoot my bow at them.
What's up with this switch situation?
So the switch actually still has a rope attached to it. You get the idea that if you pulled the switch back, it would pull you up towards the ceiling.
Oh, I jump and grab that rope. Send me up.
I pulled the lever.
All right, yeah. So you're able to pull the lever. Junegood, you fly up there, and you're able to hold on. But you can tell these things are lodged in there pretty good. If you want to try to pull them out, make a strength check.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, you guys see Junegood. He's got the rope sort of wrapped around himself, one arm, and he's trying really hard to pull. He's like straining with all his might, but he is not quite able to get those tiles down.
It's impossible.
Can't be done. Can't be done. You do get the idea that maybe if you you can see the rocks sort of surrounding them that they are lodged into. So does anybody want to do anything to help Junegood?
Can I throw my javelin at the rocks?
Yeah, give me an attack roll. Okay. All right. You want to try again? Just keep chucking it up there.
Sure.
I don't like this. Bring me down. Bring me down.
So on your second shot, Draco, you hit the tiles come with a bunch of debris and stuff crashing to the ground. The tiles are okay; they're in perfectly fine shape. They're glowing blue, just like the other ones. Draco, Junegood, you're hanging up there still.
If you drop, I'll catch you.
I
style trying to.
reel the lever back slowly in a controlled fashion.
All right, yeah. So you come slowly into the waiting arms of Draco. Yeah. So that's, you guys have that next set of tiles. Do you want to bring the Kobold Shaman with you to your next quest?
That was my intent.
Okay. All right. He's coming along then.
Further increasing Plomp's indignity.
Okay. You know, that's an act of mercy that you performed, which is good, but we got to talk about your idolatry habit.
We're just friends, that's all. That's...
Yeah, we're just...
Friends don't worship friends, okay?
Maybe you just haven't met the right sort of friends then.
I think I worship a friend now.
So it takes about an hour to kind of get around out and then back into to the edge of the Dolor Forest.
James,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. It's worth mentioning that the charm person does wear off after an hour.
And then he does know that you have charmed him, right?
Yes. But I'll try to convince him at that point that he has no better choice than to just stay with us.
I take my dagger out.
So when you reach the edge of the forest, this shaman is kind of looking, you see all of a sudden his eyes get wide with realization, and he's looking around, and he says, what?
You should just come with us.
The body of the eight-legged It was on the floor.
Hey, pal, look. I know how hard it can be to go through a crisis of faith. I've gone through one or two of those myself. But the thing you need to keep in mind is now you've got a second chance, all right? You know, who's to say that life without the spider isn't going to be as good as life with the spider, huh?
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. All right. Oh, hey, I'm not bad at that.
Hey! So looking at you guys, you can see your words are kind of dawning on him, as well as the realization that his other choice is probably death. Seeing the dagger that has come out. And he says, okay, sounds good. And then he looks at Pierre and says, "Not actually a god, are you?"
No, he's not.
And you can see
I gasp.
at that point.
There's this moment where I'm about to say yes, and then chimes in.
So Beauregard, inspiration for you, definitely. Inspiration for all involved. If you don't have it yet.
And I clasp the kobold by the shoulders and say, "You can be an adventurer."
Nice. And he sort of looks and says, we fed adventurers to the eight-legged, but she is dead and defeated by adventurers, so I will be an adventurer. And then he takes to Plump kind of as the person who persuaded him.
We're going to teach you on this adventure. You're going to help us out, and then you can return to your congregation, and you can teach them to do good as well.
You see, like, there's this moment of recognition, like, oh yeah, my friends. And he's like, where? You didn't kill my...
No, they went out hunting. They are also not the most loyal of so you're going to have to work on that with them.
And he's like, they were always jealous of my magic.
You should teach them to use salt in their food.
And like pepper too.
So he enters the Dolor Forest with you. Now the master has sort of marked the way to the Dolor Forest by carving signs into various trees. So everybody, you need to sort of follow these. She carves her initials basically into trees, so she would remember the way through the forest. So my question is, who amongst you is leading? And this will be a wisdom survival check to sort of follow the path to get me. Owen's grave.
I just play
wait.
music.
I'm gonna look at my character sheet here. Oh, I can do it.
Wisdom is 3. Am I saving?
Cool. And if somebody wants to do it and other people want to aid, you'll have advantage on the check. So it's up to you guys who you would like to lead you.
Plump, I would think.
Plump for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wisdom.
Does the kobold know this area?
The
Good question.
kobold knows the peaks, and he also doesn't know how to read.
I got it. Yeah, I've got the wisdom and armor class of 18, so that should be.
Yeah, definitely. So go ahead and roll with advantage because your party members are helping you. A wisdom survival check. So it should be under skills. You can just click survival.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great. I mean, you're following a clearly marked path. So you are able to make it through the forest. After about 2 hours, you guys feel the forest is kind of draining. It's the deeper you get, the more twisted the trees become, the less sunlight starts to come through. It's also getting towards night, so the sun's kind of going down anyway. And you feel like you're sort of entering another world as the groves get dark. You can feel yourselves becoming a little groggy. Everybody make a Constitution saving throw as you make your way through this mysterious forest. All right, James, all right, great.
I'm like completely impervious to this. It's like more of that magic stuff that's way over my head.
Gotcha.
I'm just like, what's wrong, guys?
Nice. So three of you don't feel anything. Plump, Beauregard, and Pierre, you're all fine. Junegood and Draco, you guys do. You start to feel a little tired, and you actually suffer a level of exhaustion, which means, so you're at exhaustion level 1. All that means is you have disadvantage on your ability checks. So not saves and stuff like that, and not saves or attacks, but skill checks and checks made with tools and just your basic sort of strength ability.
I rolled for the kobold.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Whose name we need?
Yes, the kobold's name is Jacquin.
Ooh, very French.
Ken? I approve.
He's a fancy. He's a fancy kobold. And let me see the changes there. And I will actually... I'm going to move him into the player character folder and give you control of his character. So you guys make your way. You're able to find your way there quite clearly. So there you go. You have control over Jacquin.
Cool.
And you make your way finally to a small grove of trees covered in sweet-smelling wisteria, which is this purple flowery vine. Petals are falling like snow onto the ground. It's kind of a little more beautiful, although it's still dark and creepy. Among the trees, there is a mound of moss-covered rocks piled before a huge boulder carved with the initials H.A. Without warning, the wind picks up, and there's a sudden chill that makes it so you can see your breath. From behind a cave. Oh, yeah, I forgot I had music this whole time.
That's right. One of the other many fantastic parts of the Roll20 service.
Right. Yeah. So the wind begins picking up, and you can see from behind the grave a figure made of mist, cold and light, rises. She forms the shape of an old human woman wearing leather armor. Her eyes are wild, and her hair is pulled back into a tight bun. She looks at you with a stare that could freeze a dragon. Why have you come? Speak, for your life depends on the answer.
Okay, bossy.
Gotcha. So who is going to speak?
I'll blurt something out if no one else does.
Yeah.
I'm playing a song, so I'm just kind of pulling up.
Okay, so you're picking a little
disco fever.
Nice.
So I'll kind of offer her a little bit of a bow, and I say, madam, we are here at the behest of Ilaria. She sent us. Good day.
Why did Ilaria not come herself?
I'm afraid that she has passed on like yourself, but not like yourself. She's not.
And with that, she gives a huge wail that sort of washes over all, like a. And she grabs her ghostly face and sort of collapses and says, "No, it can't be! You are lying! You are lying!"
I would not lie. Point of honor. I offer my handkerchief. Not really sure if she's corporeal enough.
Try to make a persuasion check there.
I aid.
This is gonna be my worst. skill.
Well, you got inspiration, so.
Oh yeah, let me use that. Good call.
She looks at you and says, "She is not dead. She is not dead." And she reaches out threateningly. And you get the feeling you don't really want her to like give you a ghostly grab. She's not trying to grab you, but she's threatening to do it.
I back up a couple of steps and I say, I don't know what to tell you besides the truth. I'm surprised you can't see her on your side, where you're not here, but you know what I mean.
She says, "I have not crossed over, for I serve Alaria, and that is why I remain in this world. You travel with monsters," and she points at the kobold. "You must be, if she is dead, then you are the ones who killed her. I recognize you from the stories, Junegood, Draco, Beauregard, Pierre, Plump. But I do not recognize this one. You have killed her, and now you have come for her treasure."
No, he's doing community service.
Yeah, check-in's cool. It's good.
We just found him in a cave.
Go ahead, Plump or Pierre, and make a perception check.
Pierre, this might be your domain.
All right.
You are the bard.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
you have it with advantage as Pierre and Beauregard.
I see a little more than just he's cool. I'll explain, his long list of qualities.
You can see she sort of begins to calm down, and she says, "All right, if the master has really died, and this kobold is truly a friend of yours, then you are her latest batch of prized pupils, and you must prove to me you are what you say. I have other methods of discovering the truth, but those are less pleasant." And she says, "I've heard many stories about you. You, Pierre, perform for me your finest routine."
Do you need to be alone?
Yes, I mean, what a musical performance. Oh, you mean a musical performance, right?
Yeah, and she stares hard at you. Doesn't appreciate the innuendo.
I will begin to strum at my lute. Performance check here. And I'm going to play a song of demonic possession.
Ooh, nice.
So it's got some kind of like weird, twangy, creepy music.
Gotcha. So an 11 on a performance check. Let's see. It's not your finest performance. And she sort of says, "I don't know. You could just be some hack who only knows 4 chords."
Can I still use inspiration?
I mean, that's Pierre. You nailed it.
Oh yeah, you can use inspiration as you're playing.
All right. Is there a way to do? Oh, did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just roll again.
Let's again. All right.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
But then you sort of recover. It becomes the first or the second half of "Devil Came Down to Georgia" or whatever. Getting a lot better. And she she says, "I judged too quickly." And then she kind of hits herself in the head and she's like, "Alaria's always telling me, don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to judge." And she says, "You are indeed. Your performance is legendary. That couldn't be faked." And then she turns to Plump. And she drags one of her nails across Jacquin. And he sort of starts to freak out as a long, bloody wound is left in his arm. And she turns to you and she says, "Show me how to stop a bleeding person from dying."
Okay. Again, rude. And I will make my medicine check.
Okay. Nice.
Boom.
Yeah, you just immediately pull out like the healer's kit. Boom! You hit it with some antiseptic, herbs. Wrap it up. It's a perfect set. And she nods and she says, "Fascinating. You should have let him bleed to death."
Hey. He might look like a kobold, but he's more of a bro-bald.
Nice. She turns to Beauregard and says, "Climb to the top of that tree in less than a minute." And she points to that tree.
Look at the tree and look at her. All right.
Nice. All right. So Beauregard, you're climbing up there, and the tree is sort of weird, and some branches are snapping. You're not quite making it to the top fast enough.
Should have let me equip my rope.
And she flies up there, and she says, "Your climbing skills were supposed to be legendary. Now I must find out if you are who you say you are." And she sort of inhabits your body momentarily. She enters your body through your mouth. And you can see Beauregard's eyes glow white. And Beauregard, you take 3 psychic damage. And then she flies out of your body. And she says, "You are indeed Beauregard. Sorry we had to do that the painful way." And then she flies over to Draco and she says, "Tell me a story that would frighten me."
Oh, geez. One time.
Draco's thing?
Yeah. One time, the master made me train for so long. I couldn't my tail anymore, and I had to crawl back to the barracks, and then when I woke up, I had nightmares all night, screaming at me, and then when I woke up, I tried to quit, and then she took me back. But
Nice.
it really broke me. Broke me down.
Go ahead and make a intimidation check. Yeah. See how scary. Oh, she's like, oh, and the fact that you brought the master into it, that makes her like, oh, scary indeed. Yes,
The master is a scary one. I'm not very
This is the scariest story I've ever heard. And then she turns to the rogue and says, "I hear you are. For one who likes to eat, you are quite light on your feet. See if you can balance on this thin branch."
Be careful with those branches. They're not as sturdy as they look.
I tumble forward and do a backflip onto the branch and stand. Well, depending on whether or not you think that's good enough.
Oh, it is. It's definitely
Okay, good.
So yeah,
And I go,
15
"This
super hard.
branch?" And I look at it.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, I actually meant the slightly thicker one before, but okay, whatever, I guess." And she sort of looks at all of you and says, "Then the master is truly dead, and I must perform my final duty." And she reaches in behind the grave and pulls out 3 blue tiles and hands them to you. And then you see this sort of calm wash over her face. And she almost appears to get younger before you. And she says, "I have served the master well in my life and beyond. There is no more for me in this world. Make her proud, fellow students. I go to my rest with her." And then she sort of disappears. All right. So you guys are able to make it back through the Dolor Forest. And while you are on your way back, you hear some howling. And at that moment, you can see that you are surrounded by some devious-looking wolves. Boom.
Devious looking?
Yeah, they look almost unnaturally spurred.
Oh, okay.
Like their desire to kill is great. So as this howling occurs, you guys are sort of walking along. This is a smaller. Here, let me. Boom. This is a smaller river. It's only kind of ankle deep, but the mud. You get the feeling when it rains, this river widens and the mud is deep here. So go ahead and everybody roll initiative. Okay, nice.
Patrick, are you going to control Jacquin or shall I?
Oh, you mean James? His name is James.
Sorry, James.
Oh yes. No
I'm
worries.
going by what's in the.
Yeah,
Oh
his,
yeah. That's
yeah.
funny.
You've got an incognito game name in Zoom. Just to make it extra weird, we're both
Yes.
James.
Same question, right?
Yeah, I can take on Jackin, I think.
He has
open him up
awesome
here.
spells, so.
Yeah, he's got a
Well,
couple.
actually, I don't think I have access to his. Oh no, here he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Aha.
So let's see. I rolled initiative for him just to make your lives easier.
Yep. And I got a 12 on my initiative. It didn't pop up in the turn order.
Okay, cool. I'll get you in there. It's just a simple right-click add turn.
Ooh.
All right, let's see. Are we all here? Are we still missing? Oh, Pierre. I gotta add Pierre. Pierre, what did you get for initiative?
Oh, it didn't add it automatically?
Oh,
16.
it's 16. Okay, cool. That's okay. Okay, so it looks like the wolves are going first.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. So, Wolf runs at Beauregard. One runs at, actually two. We're gonna run at Draco. So let's see, Draco, you get attacked first. They have advantage on this because of their pack tactics. So a critical hit. The wolf bites you, so you take 9 piercing damage and make a strength saving throw as the wolf tries to pull you down. It bites your leg. Nice. Okay. You are able to withstand that. The other wolf comes in. Does a 17 hit your AC?
No.
Okay, so that wolf, his teeth wrap around you, but he can't get through your thick mail. And then Beauregard, another wolf charges at you.
That hits.
There's an 18 hits. Okay, so for 6 piercing damage. And make a strength saving throw. All right, and you are not pulled to your feet either. Draco Lightbringer, it is your turn.
I will use my breath weapon,
Nice.
which is 15-foot cone. Creature in the
Cool.
cone makes a DC 11, dex.
So they are going to make dex saving throws. First wolf, second wolf. Okay, so they dodge, but I believe they still take half damage, right?
Yeah, that was really shitty. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is Draco's turn, and it is now Pierre's turn.
Which one did Draco hit?
He hit the one. So he hit both of them because he used his breath weapon.
3
Okay.
damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I will run over, hopping across the river, and
Nice.
go attack the one of the ones next to him.
All right.
Just drawing out my short sword
Nice.
and
Stabbing right down.
stabbing. calling out a battle cry: the systematic destruction of an entire people and their way of life. My battle song.
Oh boy!
Yeah, it's more of a sort of a somber tune.
But it definitely strikes true, and you get this wolf in the back, and he lets loose a yelp as you stab down. And it is Junegood Barley's turn. Barley, poof.
Yeah. Or short sword, and I want to get on that. So I'll run over and I will stab with my short sword.
Oh, and yes, you hit, and certainly sneak attack damage applies here. Let's see.
Oosh.
You kill him. He's dead.
Nice.
Boom.
Stab,
so
stab.
it for that wolf. You stab him right through the back and lets out a howl, a very evil howl. Remember, these are evilly spurred on wolves, PETA. So that wolf lets out a yelp and is dead. It is Jacquin's turn.
All right, Jacquin, I choose you. Use Thunder Wave.
Okay.
And so I think because it's a 15-foot cube, he's got to like move here-ish so he doesn't hurt anybody part of our party.
Gotcha. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving there.
Maybe actually down here. Nope. There we go. Hey, nailed it.
Yeah, you'd be able to. Okay.
Whoa. 20 arrows.
Okay. So these guys need to make a Constitution save, I believe.
Yes.
So go ahead, click the spell. It should roll the damage. I'll make 2 Constitution saves for the wolves, top to bottom.
And his level is 1.
Boom. So the first wolf does save, but they still take half damage. Oh man, and rolled max damage there. So even though the first wolf saved, both are blown apart.
It's super effective
by Junegood's amazing spell that he apparently gets the power from the god of spice.
I think we've established it's the actual god at this point.
Right. And he sort of, Jacquin looks at you guys and is like, did I do good? Was that good?
You did great, Jacquin.
The wolves are most salty. Good job.
Excellent. So so you guys are able to walk back. Does anybody want to do anything? I'll leave you on this screen in case you want to like heal your characters or whatever as you make your way back to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit.
I'd like to use second wind.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, those were some big hits for Draco and Beauregard.
Definitely
I'm
gonna
back.
have to heal Beauregard.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we've got this whole other pony, a person who can be a heal pony. And
He does have a healing spell.
Yeah.
Oh, not to mention you have a bard and a paladin who can also heal people.
This party is a
You're
pretty
healing.
Band-Aid heavy party. I love it.
Yeah, which is great.
All right. Beauregard will cast Healing Word.
And that brings me back up to full.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so you guys are going to head back to Parabor into the backyard. The field behind Ilaria's house is peaceful, it's serene. Her home is on a hill at the edge of Parabor, overlooking the rest of the town from the front yard. Lake Moranthi can be seen from the backyard, and the Merriam Vale, you can sort of see the wide expanse. On cool summer nights, you would sit out on the house's back porch drinking cold tea after a long day of training and watch the sunset over Delore Forest. Before you now is a mysterious trapdoor. I guess it's time to stop the scary music.
Yes, please. Turn the music off.
Before you now is a mysterious trapdoor in the center of the backyard. You have never seen the door opened. 9 red square-shaped divots are in line in a single row across the door's center. Then, those of you carrying the tiles feel them grow warmer the closer you get to the trapdoor. Suddenly, blue letters in common appear across the top of the door, just above the red divots. And the phrase revealed is, "Who is the master?" And why don't we bring you over here?
Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain.
So here you guys go. So the red tiles are in place, but you guys are actually able to move the blue tiles if you would like.
That's an arrow.
Okay.
Uh,
Did the poem say again?
It doesn't. It just said unlock the
And,
vault.
Yeah.
It didn't actually say anything about how to solve this, other than other people are on their way. All will make sense when you open the vault.
Who is the master?
So go ahead, feel free, move them around, play around with them.
Yeah, one of these has got to line up to something.
oh, here we go.
Hey!
Hey.
I'm glad that it's obvious.
What does it say? Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh,
This one. No, somebody had
some
it.
people had them in place. Yes.
I can't. Is there something that happened when they were in the?
So you can see how there are letters revealed. Like
I don't actually see any letters. Maybe I'm just. I don't
you
think.
see the. Zoom in a little bit more if you're zoomed in.
Forge,
Oh,
is
that
what
might-
it is?
Dawnforge.
On Forge.
Oh,
yeah.
zooming
zoomed-
changes.
Yeah, I
everything.
was zoomed out too far.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
How funny.
On Forge.
Oh, that's That's a good playtest note. So yeah, after playing around with the tiles for a little bit, you are able to reveal this phrase, Dawn Forge, which is not a phrase you have heard at all, and certainly never a name you referred to Alaria as. But you are able to make your way into the vault as the door opens and a sort of winding stone staircase leads down. And in this room, smooth white finished walls glow with magical light, like they've been blessed kind of. 3 marble pedestals stand on top of a raised platform opposite the stairs. On the left pedestal, there's a long sword with a silver hilt shaped to look like wings of an angel. The middle pedestal holds a small metal chest, and the right pedestal holds a single perfect pearl placed on top of a leather-bound dog-eared journal. On the wall behind the pedestal is a framed map of the Miriam Vale with all kinds of strange notes and markings. Suddenly, an image of a younger Alaria Faye takes place in the chamber. She's wearing these beautiful robes, and she says, "Hello. If you made it this far, I'm probably dead.
Oh.
And if radiant fire hasn't started raining down, then you're probably not a necromancer. That means you're my most recent batch of students. I know it's confusing, but all is explained in this journal and map behind me. The sword, the riches, and the magic pearl are yours. But the journal and the map are the most important items. This may come as a shock, but my real name is not Alaria Faywing. It's Eris Dawnforge. I changed my name after my friends and I stole a precious artifact, the Eye of Death, from a group of necromancers called the Pact of the Lich." You can see sort of tears begin to well up in this image's eyes. I was the only one who escaped. I hid the artifact down here in the Miriam Vale beyond the Dolor Forest where few would dare to go. If I had died, it's most likely because the Pact of the Lich has taken my life. They are searching for the Eye of Death, and they will use it to change all of the people of Skylark into undead zombies. Guarding the Eye is now your task. Everything is detailed in the journal. She smiles to herself. All of Skylark is counting on you. I hope I trained you well. The illusion disappears. "Touchy," a withering voice behind you comments. You turn to see the pale, shrunken face of a thin, bald man wearing black robes emblazoned with a skull on the chest. His green eyes flare from under his hood. Before the man, 4 animated human skeletons carrying swords creaking and clacking as they fidget appear ready for murder. But that map leads to an item that is and always was the rightful property of my masters. I have come to take back what was stolen. So I'm just going to move you onto the vault map. There we go. You guys are probably not spread out like this. Guess more along these lines. Yeah. June Good, you're probably, there we go. Yeah, if you guys want to, anybody can be on the platform if they want to, or that kind of thing. You were all facing forward. This necromancer sort of made a ruckus behind you. You've all had revelations, and the idea of this is that this is the starter adventure, and it gives people a place to go to create their own campaigns after this. They can stay in the Merriam Vale, they can make maps for Beyond, they can go all over. So let's go ahead and roll initiative.
All right.
So at this point, Beauregard is he's starting to get a little angry. He's like, first the god of spice, and now the master herself. Who else have alternate identities they want to reveal?
Nice. Inspirations, definitely, for Beauregard.
Why does everyone lie?
I mean, I'm just surprised that she was going by a fake name since, Samuel L. Jackson was the name I was going by. Her idea, so maybe it was, she's got more pseudonyms.
All right. Skeleton. Okay, cool.
And I couldn't find an initiative link on our Kobold's character sheet, so I just rolled Dex.
Oh yeah, let me add him. Let's see. So I gotta add Plump.
Yeah, it would just be Dex.
And okay, perfect. Yeah, I do love that about 5e. It's real easy to know how to.
Yep.
Okay, 16. And did you roll, James? Okay.
I think I did.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, and as these skeletons sort of appear, the walls themselves start to vibrate. And you can see these walls that are magically lit up. They begin to throb kind of with light, like whoa, whoa, whoa. And it is the necromancer's turn first. So the necromancer is going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement.
Ooh.
And
one?
he's gonna shoot it right at Beauregard.
Oh no.
So Beauregard, make a Constitution saving throw.
I would like to use my inspiration on this.
Go ahead. All right.
I need
So
it.
yeah, you totally shrug this off as a black beam of energy. Sort of, he points at you, poof, and there's a black cloud that covers you briefly, and then when it leaves, you're just standing there like nothing is happening. And he,
I look confused. Like, what was that supposed to be?
Jacqueline, it is your turn.
Okay. He is going to cast, Thunderwave is probably, well, it's a cube though.
Yeah, you could hit the skeleton, these two skeletons who are right in front of Drozzle and Drozzle if you moved right up next to them.
Okay. Yeah, he's been brave so far, so
Sure, what does it matter if he dies?
Yes.
I don't care. Yeah, he'll run over by the stairs doing his little kobold scamper and cast his thunder wave. And
So is he going to cast it kind of as he's in a position to hit the two skeletons? And
Yeah.
Okay. So two of the skeletons will be able to get an opportunity attack if he runs that far.
he's He's been brave.
I understand.
We're gonna risk it.
Yeah. So let's roll up the thunder wave first, and I will roll some Constitution saving throws. Both skeletons fail. Drozzle succeeds, but he'll still take half. Okay, so the skeletons take 7 thunder damage each. Ooh.
Yes.
You see pieces of bone go flying as this big wave of thunder comes out of Jacquin's hand, and it washes over Drozzle, who sort of gets up and gives a little laugh, and he's like, "Cute."
He is cute.
So the skeletons, 2 skeletons will take opportunity attacks. Does a 22 hit Jacquin?
Yes, I believe so.
So the first attack hits and he takes 3, and then an 18 I'm pretty sure also hits, so he takes another 11 for a total, or another 8 for a total of 11 as they skewer him while he runs by.
Ooh, he is not looking good. Got 3 left.
Plump. Okay. So Plump, skeleton is going to come after you, and actually this skeleton is going to turn and attack Jacquin. So first, Plump. Skeleton turns and gives you a stab with a short sword, but a 6 misses. Sort of doesn't connect with you at all. Beauregard, the skeleton attacks you. 13 also misses, hitting harmlessly off your armor. But the skeleton attacking Jacquin.
No!
Let's see. A 9. Jacquin deftly moves out of the way. And Draco, another 6. Man, these skeletons are the worst. So yeah, misses across the board for the skeletons, but they're just getting warmed up. And it is Draco's turn.
Okay. I will just whack the skeleton right in front of me.
Sounds good.
With my longsword.
Cool.
Yeah. So 16 versus AC.
Okay, 16 is going to hit.
For 9 damage. 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage. Okay. Yeah, that's that damage, I believe. Let me see. Let me just double check my skeleton stats here. But yeah, that damage is complete and total. It takes all 9 damage. And the skeleton is definitely not looking good, as a big half of its rib cage kind of goes flying off as you swing your sword around. And it is Junegood's turn.
I'm gonna fire my short bow at the one engaged with Beauregard.
Beauregard.
Beauregard, thank you. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay. So you hit. And that's a total of 10 damage. The one on your right is already your sneak attack, so you don't actually have to roll it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 10 damage, that is actually going to eliminate this skeleton. Your arrow is so deft, it sort of severs the vertebra, and his head rolls off. And he is gone.
Clearing the way for your bow. Cut that necromancer in 2.
All right. Plump! It's your turn.
Okay. I have a player's moral quandary because I think...
Don't you heal that.
We'll probably heal
Don't
the
you
kobold.
dare heal that kobold.
Do it.
Okay, I've got 1 devil on my shoulder and 1 angel on my shoulder. On evens, I'm going to heal this kobold, and I guess I should probably roll a die in the program. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So that's plus your wisdom modifier, right? So which is 4 or 3? 3 or 4?
Yeah, 3. So 3 would make it evens. I will heal that kobold.
Plus his proficiency.
Yeah,
Out of the 3.
I was going to say plus another 3 because it's 2 plus the level of the
Life
spell.
domain.
Yeah, the life domain. So yeah, so he heals for 9.
Okay, great.
And you still got an action to use. That's a bonus action.
Oh, cool. In which case, I am going to take my mace and hit that skeleton.
Nice.
All right, skeleton. Let's see how you like this.
Okay. So skeletons are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage, which means they take twice as much on a hit. This would have been enough to kill it anyway, but the spectacular shower of bone that happens as you swing your mace makes gods everywhere smile. And it's one of those moments where the camera goes into high speed for a moment so we can sort of see all of the bone debris and everything flying everywhere.
And immediately after that finishes, he starts sneezing and coughing as bone debris sets off his allergies like no other.
And you can see Drozzle sort of turns his focus on you at that. And he's shaking his head. He's not really sure to make of if you're a powerful warrior or not. And it is Beauregard's turn.
Beauregard is heated. Let's take a swing at this necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
Lied to all day. Climbing skills undermined. Let's see here. I don't have inspiration anymore.
All right. So an 18 would normally hit, but he creates a magical shield in response to your attack, and your battle axe bangs on the shield, and you are not able to hit him. And he sort of gives you an evil stare, and it is Pierre's turn.
So the objects on these pedestals back here, there's a longsword, right?
There's a longsword, there's a chest, and there is a pearl on top of a journal.
Pearl on top of a journal. Okay. I will.
So, and it'll just cost you, if you just want to climb up onto that platform, it's just an extra 5 feet of movement.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go back and grab the longsword and take the opportunity attack from the skeleton.
Okay, nice. Okay, so the skeleton's going to make an opportunity attack.
Oh.
You grab the longsword and you immediately feel it's vibrating with power. Does a 13 hit your armor class?
I don't believe so, but that's the first time I've been attacked. No, it does hit.
Okay, so you take 6 piercing damage as you get up there. But you do, this longsword definitely has magical power within it.
Okey-doke.
And you can feel it sort of starts to glow blue as you pick it up.
All right. I will then run back and go and swing it at the skeleton.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you jump down.
And I don't know whatever attack bonus is, but I'll just roll a straight.
So it has a +1 attack bonus. So add 1 to whatever you get.
Okay, so it's that number +1.
Okay. So the sword does miss, but when you swing it, it lets loose a laugh that sounds like Ilaria Faywing's laugh, like ha 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 ha. And there's a magic sort of burst of light that goes with it. It is a +1 longsword that deals an extra D6 radiant damage to undead.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all shed a tear
Yeah.
as we fondly remember her laugh. And I will also hum a tune of battle and give Draco bardic inspiration.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be +1d6 on your next attack, ability check, or saving throw.
So Drozzle calls over the around the stairs to Jacqueline. Nice trick. And then he is going to hit Beauregard with a thunder wave.
Oh, shoot.
Boom. Beauregard, make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Please.
You're also so you only take 6 thunder damage, and you are not pushed, although you're a dwarf, so it's pretty hard to push you around. Anyway. And he kind of looks at you and he's like, "Why won't my magic work?"
What even is magic?
Because evil magic is dumb.
And the pulsating walls, you hear Ilaria's voice say, "Undead detected," and they begin to shoot some random radiant beams. So 2 beams shoot out, and let's see. So there is a. Okay, so there's 9 of you. I'm gonna roll a d9. And Drazel is number 1, and then we move counterclockwise around. Okay, so we come all the way around to Jacquin and to Drazel. Both get hit with beams. So both are going to take 3 radiant damage. And it is Jacquin's turn.
All right. Jacquin, let's see, has...
Richard, did I skip you again?
No.
Okay,
I attacked for 7 damage or something terrible.
gotcha. All right.
Okay, looks like Jacquin really just has a dagger if I'm not going to be spamming Thunderwave. So Jacquin draws his dagger and bravely takes a slash at the skeleton in front of him.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that is a big miss as he's kind of covering his face, trying to hit the skeleton, but the skeleton will return the favor. So let's see, does 21 hits Jacquin for another 3 damage?
3 damage, back down to 9.
And then Draco, 23 hits you for 5 piercing. So you both get stabbed with short swords. And it is now Draco's turn.
Okay, I am going to lay on hands Pierre Leboeuf.
Nice.
Woo. So restore total number of hit points. 5, is that right? My level times 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
5 hit points.
Sweet.
Is that a minor action? Or is that a...
To heal him?
Yeah.
Bonus
action.
right?
Bonus
Yeah,
action,
it's a bonus
I
action.
suppose, okay.
Minor.
I'll attack the skeleton. Yeah, right. Sorry.
How dare you?
How off-brand.
Oh, yes, I have inspiration. I'll use my inspiration.
Okay, cool. You hit. And that definitely knocks this skeleton's block off. And it goes flying. And we are now in Junegood's turn.
Oh, Necromancer, I hate you. And so I will fire a bow at your face. Crit!
Yeah! So that is a big hit. Wow. More than enough damage to totally kill this necromancer whose brains get splattered behind him. And this final skeleton falls to the ground in a heap without the necromancer to control him. The walls stop pulsating when the final skeleton falls, and you guys are out of initiative since things have stopped attacking. Nice hit, Junegood. So you guys are able to check out the treasure. While you're in there, you do notice the image of Ilaria keeps doing, it keeps repeating her story over and over again. It's kind of a "help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" type of and so, yeah, but you find that is a +1 longsword, like we said. It's called Ilaria's Laughter. There's also a Pearl of Power, is what that pearl is, which lets you cast a few more spells per day than you normally can if you're a spellcaster. And then the chest has 600 gold pieces and 7 nice-looking bloodstones in it. In addition, Drazel has a spell book on him that also has some extra spells in it. But that is the conclusion of the adventure. If people are interested when this adventure launches, like we said, it's totally free. You can check it out, and then you'll be able to continue the adventure from there if you would like to. I do encourage everybody who is watching to definitely check out Cybersmile and what they're all about. Go hit up the amazing deals that Roll20 has that benefit Cybersmile. You can get an awesome art pack with tons of tokens and tiles from great artists who worked on this great adventure. And you can buy a sweet t-shirt, or you could donate directly, because Cybersmile is all against cyberbullying, and that's a great thing. And then I would love to thank each of you for being here today. We've got about 5 minutes left. Does anybody have anything they want to plug real fast? We could probably go around the table and do that, if that's cool. So why don't we start? Greg Bilsland, do you have anything you want to plug?
Sure. We've got Chris Perkins on Roll20 later today at 2 p.m. Pacific. He's actually just coming back. I think he was on Critical Role last night, and we just did our big event at Meltdown where we announced the new D&D storyline, Storm King's Thunder. So check that out on our D&D YouTube channel.
Nice. Rudy Basso, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, hey, I have 2 podcasts. One is kind of a Book of the Month club, but for officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons video games. It is on the Tome Show Network. We're talking Baldur's Gate 2 this month,
Nice.
You're listening on that. I also have a podcast you mentioned earlier, James, called Have Spellbook Will Travel. It's a fully produced radio play based on the adventures that we had in our Dungeons & Dragons games. It's a lot of fun. Please check it out. The website is havespellbook.com. We're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on all those fun places. So.
And if you thought this was weird, wait till you get a look into our actual D&D games. And Greg, thank you, by the way, for getting up at like 4 a.m. to be here. I appreciate that. Naja, you got anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you guys can check me out running D&D 5e myself, Misclicks D&D Prophecy, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The VODs for our most recent episode will be up on the hour over on YouTube/Misclicks. So definitely check me out over there.
It is a really, really fun game, and you're an amazing DM. So I was very intimidated running a game for you today.
I know.
And speaking of intimidating people to run games for, James D'Amato, do you have anything you would like to plug?
I would love to plug the One Shot Podcast Network. You can find podcasts of improvisers playing different role-playing systems over at oneshotpodcast.com. Our main show, we feature several different role-playing systems with a rotating cast of players who are mostly improvisers, but also comics and gaming personalities join us as well. We're currently running Red Markets, so if you're curious about that game, please check it out. And I also star on the Campaign Podcast, which is an ongoing Edge of the Empire game. It has been described as 3 men and a baby in space, so... If that appeals to you about Star Wars, check that out.
Yeah, and those are all really, really great. If you like listening and watching people play games, and you probably do if you're watching this, you should definitely check out everything people are touting over here. Richard of Roll20, I'm sure you'll have opportunities to plug stuff all day, but is there anything specific you'd like to plug?
Specific, just if anybody, you guys are watching, if you like the stream, if you like what's going to come up, just spread the word. Get into Roll20. Today you get plus level features for free. You tag your game as for the convention, so we know that you're supporting Cybersmile.
Yeah.
Just play games. That's what we all like to do. So.
Yeah. Roll20 is free to try. Today you get all the premium features for free. It's my favorite virtual